Right then, retro rides preparation. We've got the centre bearing to replace on the Volvo. And so obviously we need to disconnect the prop shaft here. This is where the centre bearing is above here, so we need to remove this plate. And obviously we need to drop it on the back axle as well and do the UJ there, UJ bolts. But first what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark on here so I know I can put it back in the same position because it's nice with no vibrations at the moment. So I'll probably just maybe mark each side of that and mark that so I know to put that back there. Same on the back, we're going to mark it. I'm just going to mark 2 positions so I know roughly where they go. And I can undo all the bolts now and drop it down. So that's these 3 19mm slackened off. I'm just going to finish them off with the electric ratchet purely because I've got one. So on the onto the 4 on the back nuts, the nuts 17mm and the bolts 15mm head on it. The prop shaft bolts out now. I've just put them back together, but put them around that way so I remind myself where they go in the prop. So it's front and back disconnected. Just got to do the centre now, which is these 4 on the outside, and then you've got the 2 in the centre that hold the carrier to that plate. These all seem to be a 12mm head on there. I have just slackened off these 2, slackened off these 3, but this one here is a bit rounded off, so I'm just going to try with a 6-sided socket. Sure that'll get it undone, and then the whole prop shaft then will just drop right out. It's got that unbolted, then just slide in the prop shaft backwards. You can see there, that's a lot of play in that bearing. It's well shot. Yeah, so I can slide the prop shaft backwards now, and then we'll have a look about splitting it. Lost the prop shaft out. Also, I just need to make sure I keep these in alignment, so we'll just mark probably there and there as reference points. Not sure where the yellow tape is. I've got that marked up in a couple of places. I believe this just pulls apart now. A bit hard to do on camera. Yeah, a bit hard to do on camera. So yeah, you just pop off that boot, and then this just slides off the shaft then. Right, so now that's off, we just have to tap off the bearing then. Imagine in there I can do it probably with a hammer and chisel. I think we can tell this bearing is very short. Bit of a due replacement. So there's supposed to be like dust shields in there, but I'm missing them on mine. So it might be a yearly job now, replacing the bearings on this, because you can't seem to get the shields. If anybody has seen the shields anywhere for sale, please let me know, or if anybody got any second-hand ones, because obviously I'm very willing to fit them on there. Certainly see this one's past it, so it's just where I've hammered and chiseled it out there on the sill, but it's very rough to turn with a lot of play in. I say this is the new bearing, part number there for it. I've already pressed it into the seal, had to put a bit of red rubber grease on it, but there's the new mount. There's a part number there for it. So we're going to put the new one on the same way the old one come off. So we've got the bearing side this side. There. I'm probably just going to give that just a bit of a wipe around with a bit of oil just to help it on. I'm not expecting too many problems there. Also need to look for a bit of tube, the same size as the bearing. There we go, so that's the old one we took off last January. New one, and the one we've just taken off now. Right, it's got the bearing on the same way as it was taken off before. I've got this bit of brass here, which is the perfect size to fit on that inner bearing race, and we can just tap that in with a hammer then, until it drives it home. Yeah, it was easy as that, a couple of taps and it was on. So you know when it's fully seated, because the sound changes when you hit it with a hammer. It's more of a teeny sound like that. So I might look at these UJs, see if I can put grease in them or not. I've noticed there's plugs in them. Let's see if I can take a plug out and whether a grease nipple will fit in there just so I can put a bit of greasing, because obviously this car's on 200,000 miles now. I'm guessing these are the original UJs. There's like a little Allen key plug in there, so I'm hoping it's going to be the same thread as the grease nipples, and we can put some grease in then, UJs then, prolong them. Find a grease nipple that fitted, so we can just get the grease gun on that now, and then once we're done we'll take that back out, put the little pin back in. Grease gun on there, just a couple of pumps, and the old grease has started coming out, but I'm not going to be greedy. I'm just going to pump a bit in and wipe off the excessive, and that'll do for that UJ. Then that's all done. Just wipe off some of the excessive grease that's come out. Also, while we're here, we will clean up the siding joint and re-grease it as well. So you're just matching up the markings I've made. both at the top, so also just need to put a bit more grease on the shaft, and then we can push the shaft in then. So prop shaft back together, we can go out and get it on the car now. Prop shaft all back together, try and get it back in under the car now. And we've got the fun job then of trying to balance it. With there, you need to slide it in from the front, because the new mount won't go through the cross member. Obviously the old one was very worn, so it bent around it. Bolted up. Well, obviously you have to remember you have to slide the front end in first if we can get the back end in. I'm doing this right. Unfortunately I've mushed up my markings a bit, but I think I can just about whack them out. So obviously here you put the bolt through and then put the washer on, because obviously you're going into the rubber and the sleeve in the rubber. Right, they're all tightened. Just got to do the same on the rear ones now, just fully tighten them. So there will be a torque spec in the book for them, but I've just done them up tight. And then with these here, we'll just nip these up a bit more. Then we'll get the car back on the ground and roll it backwards and forwards a little bit. Then we'll tighten them up, and then we'll take it for a spin. And then if it makes any noise when we're driving, we just need to loosen these off again, and then drive it around and drive it up to that speed that's making that noise, and then stop, but still on the level, and then just nip them all up, and hopefully the noise will be gone then. Because it's obviously this plate can go this way, that way, forwards and backwards, and obviously the same with the carrier can slide forwards and backwards as well. Just to reduce vibration, just need to make sure it's in the right position. Right, I'm going to go have a change of clothes, and I'll get it off the ground. I'll get it back on the ground, and we'll get rid of the gulf. On the level now, to nip up those bolts, and then it's test drive time. Well, just on a test drive, it feels absolutely fine. Obviously, while pulling it backwards and forwards on the level bit of road inside the house, I've had it up to 60. Obviously, I've not had it up to motorway speeds yet, but obviously I'm not going anywhere near a motorway at the moment. But I think it's going to be good. It's certainly a lot quieter in the car now anyway. So anyway, thanks for watching. Just popped off the dust cover on this one. Oh yeah, she's dry. See why it's gone. It was getting a bit too noisy now, because I've been driving around with it noisy since about January, February time.